I love Coca-Cola. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to my video. I am Infinity43, and today you are watching the first of a two-part series all about pursuers. I have noticed, watching the lobbies that I play in, and also some other people's comments, that for a lot of players pursuers is an issue, and I thought I would try and address that by making a sort of guide to how I spot pursuers and how I deal with them. So we're going to look at how you can spot your pursuers, we're going to look at what you can do to protect yourself against them, and we'll also look at some common mistakes that I've seen a lot of players make when they're playing this game. So let's get to it. Now, the first thing you should know is that you aren't always going to be able to spot your pursuers, because some people actually know how to play this game properly, but a lot of people don't. And if you learn to keep your eyes open, you can start seeing what these guys are doing. Look at this deacon coming in the distance here. The first thing that I notice is that there isn't any other deacon on the map, and being deathmatch, there won't be any NPCs that look like human players. So almost immediately I'm certain he is a human player. And with the whispers getting louder and him coming in my direction, I suspect he might be one of my pursuers. So I will adjust myself in the blend group, and as he gets closer, I will use a knife to stop him in his tracks, and I will stun him. Now, in this particular instance, there was actually more than one pursuer around, but the instinct was there, and he was in fact one of the pursuers that I had. So the tip I suppose I'd give you in this case is just keep your eyes open when you're standing in blend groups and when you're in one of these matches. See this giant Indian over here? Again, the same thing applies. I can't see any other NPCs that look like him, so I know that he's a human player, and I suspect he might be one of my pursuers. So I'm gonna just keep an eye on him and see what he does. I've got a blender next to me that might save me, and he's turned toward me, but then unfortunately for him, he gets his ass handed to him by a lady. So I'm safe for now. Now this is the same match just a minute later, and the whispers are back, and I notice the same character coming in my direction. This time he's coming straight toward me, so I'm going to drop a smoke bomb, and this time he is one of our pursuers, and I'm going to stun him. So my advice to you here is pay attention to what's going on in the lobby around you. Look for players who stand out, and look for ones who walk straight at you, because you'd be surprised how many players are dumb enough to walk straight at their targets. This guy he's trying something different. He's walking around, but I'm hearing whispers and I can't see any other Night Stalkers, so I'm going to trust my instincts on this one, and I'm going to go for the stun. There are going to be times where the players won't make themselves completely obvious to you, and you might need to trust your gut and go for something based on a feeling. With enough practice, you will get better at that. Now, as I'm strolling along enjoying the Boston North End, I notice Pocahontas here is getting very close to me. And the first thing I ask myself is, are there any other NPCs that look like her? And then I ask myself, what are the chances that an NPC would be walking on the same path as I'm walking? Or more specifically, what are the chances that the computer would program a path for an NPC that is on the same path that I'm walking? The chances are she wants me dead, so I'm going to do what any man would do and retreat from her. But she's still coming, so with a smoke bomb, I'm going to stun her. Now, sometimes you won't need to look too hard to spot your pursuers. I don't think I need to say too much about this clip. My advice to you in these situations is to try and remember the characters who are your pursuers, so that you can make them pay dearly later on. Always be prepared to take advantage when your pursuer does anything to expose himself or herself to you. See this guy over here? He has just legitimately stunned one of his pursuers, but now I know who he is. So armed with that knowledge, I'm going to wait, because undoubtedly he's going to walk in my direction, and when he gets close enough, I'll unleash a smoke bomb to stop him in his tracks, and then I'll return the stun that he dealt out so harshly. And this of course now frees me up to go after my target. This is why I put so much more emphasis on going for pursuers than going for targets. Once your pursuer is taken care of, you are free to go after those targets without anything stopping you. So if you are struggling with pursuers, slow your game down, join a blend group and watch the match unfold around you. quit running around on rooftops and acting like a dumbass. Slow your game down and pay attention to the other human players, and you will start to see patterns emerge in the way that they play the game and the way that they think, and this will give you the edge that you need to stun them even when they don't make themselves obvious. And of course it will make dealing with guys like this a lot easier. When they run straight at you like that, they deserve nothing but to be swiftly stunned, punched in the back of the head. Now, I have an interesting scenario here which I thought I would just show you. I hear whispers getting louder, and then I notice this character take off from the blend group. And I also notice he looks just like one of the characters walking down in my direction on this pathway. Now, if the character in the blend group was my pursuer, the whispers would have been there the whole time. They wouldn't have started getting louder, they just would have been there, which tells me that's probably an NPC. And seeing as it looks like the character on the other side of the pathway, it's probably a decoy, and this guy's hoping that I'm going to bite on his decoy and maybe run after it. And to be honest, while playing the game I kinda did bite, but lucky for me he went full retard and killed the wrong person, so I got away with that one. So to sum up our first part of this video, always be ready to take advantage of your pursuers when they make idiots of themselves, and keep your eyes open to look for guys who try and be a little bit clever but do stupid things to actually expose themselves to you, especially if this means that it frees you up to go after your targets and take them out. Now let's chat about some of the abilities that you have available to you to defend yourself against these pursuers. And the first thing I want to talk about is Morph, which I think is very underused in Assassin's Creed. Morph changes the entire blend group that you're in to look like you, so you're difficult to spot, and as you can see, this guy standing behind me has no idea what to do. He just sees a bunch of guys that look like his targets, and he's completely made himself obvious to me, and then fires a decoy like an idiot. Sir, please come here, my fist wants to meet your face. So Morph is a great defense tool to protect yourself from these guys. The chances that your pursuer is going to pick you out from the blend group, unless they saw you join the blend group, is very small. So you can catch them off guard, get an easy stun, and if you're lucky, you can get 2 stuns. Now the second ability I want to talk about is Decoy. Decoy is handy in Wanted and Assassinate, where there are NPCs that look like you. And basically what the game will do is it will fire an NPC to draw attention to itself as if it is you, and this allows you to get lots of stuns, as you can see here. I have become a huge fan of Decoy, and I use it in pretty much all of my ability sets at the moment, even more than Smoke Bomb, because it's just so much fun to confuse and trick the hell out of your pursuers.
You have been stunned.
And speaking of Smoke Bomb, it is probably the most powerful tool that you've got. It will stop everything and anything in its tracks, provided you drop it soon enough. Nothing can touch you when you drop a Smoke Bomb. In this particular match I felt quite sorry for this guy. I must have gassed him about 20 times. No jokes. But you know what? Don't feel sorry. When you're playing in a lobby like this, they want to win, you want to win, and you do everything you need to do to win the match. And if you've got to gas the same guy's lungs 20 times because he doesn't learn, that's his problem. So those are the ability sets that I use to play this game. There are of course others that you can use. There are firecrackers and there's wipe and a few others, but I use these 3 because I find that they're very effective at slowing your pursuers. And of course, if an ability is not available to you, there's always the good old naked stun, smacking him in the face without needing anything but your fist. Messian, creeping. Do I know you're my pursuer? Yes I do! Your smoke bomb's not going to save you. If you are going to go for naked stuns, just be ready to punt your stun button, X on the Xbox or whatever it is on a PlayStation or computer. Be ready to press that button as quick as possible, because on this game, if you press it around about the same time as the person who's trying to kill you, they'll almost always award the kill instead of the stun. That's how the game works. You'll get an honorable death, and that's it. Now, some misconceptions about this game, starting with knives. If you get knifed by a pursuer, remember that you can still use your abilities that are available to you. This guy's knifed me, but that doesn't stop me from dropping a smoke bomb and punching some of his teeth out. Don't forget you can use your abilities. Second thing, if you're gonna go for a naked stun, remember that if you are facing your pursuer, they will always award the kill to the pursuer. One of you has to have your back turned in order for a naked stun to work. Otherwise, all you're gonna get is a knife to your back, and you don't want that. And my last tip for you is this. If your pursuer does something to expose him or herself to you, don't be so hell-bent on stunning them that you end up becoming the idiot pursuer, because then your target will see you and they'll run up and give you a swift kick to the pants, which, let's be honest, you will deserve. And then, unless your pursuer is a complete retard, they're gonna come and cut your head off. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this video has been helpful. Please feel free to post any questions you might have and look for part 2 coming soon. I am Infinity43. So, I'm hearing whispers, and it might be that Night Stalker over there, but oh, is it you, Pocahontas? Who the hell is walking around on my roof? Can you guys hear that on your microphone? On my microphone? There's somebody walking on the roof. Oh, are you my pursuer? Yes, you are. The whispers getting louder, and oh, Night Stalker was one of them, but he's dead now. So just got one left. Still got a lot of whispers though. Oh, it's raining pursuers. Awesome.
Your objective is to find and kill.
So we're playing on the Fort Wilcott map, and I'm gonna fire a decoy right away. I mean, why the hell not? And let's see what happens. And, oh, I got a lure. Why can't I stun you? Stun! Oh, whoa! What the hell is going on here? Are you my pursuer? Well, then why did I get a lure on the red coat? Oh, I'm very confused. And sir, if you simply stop next to my blend group, I'm going to stun your ass. Oh, Deacon's a pursuer. Knife. And stun. So, I always think that that's... Oh, look at this guy. Dumbass. So I'm looking for a badly injured carpenter. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I don't think he's made me, so I'm gonna try and get an incognito here. Let's see if we can get it right. Just walk along. I'm just walking. Right, here we go. Are you serious? That is just not fair. Come on, Ubisoft. That would have been my best kill of the match. Ah, you son of a bitch. Look at this, I can't do anything. It's just stuck. Oh, now it's kicked me out. You bastards.